Welcome to the State of the Market for Law Firm Sales in 7 Minutes. My name is Jeremy Poock, and I lead Senior Attorney Match. In today's episode, we'll address the 6 meetings needed to sell a law practice. So let's jump right into it. When it comes to selling a law firm, there are 3 options. There's what we call the preferred option, which is sell to a growing law firm. Second option is to structure an internal succession plan, and the third is to maintain your status quo. In today's episode, we're going to focus on that preferred option, joining a growing law firm. When it comes to the 6 meetings needed to sell a law practice, the first meeting is what we call the meet and greet. So the meet and greet, what that consists of is senior attorney together with partners from the growing law firm. They meet together, preferably in person, post 2020. Sometimes this happens over Zoom. And what happens during those meetings is that for the growing law firms, in that initial meet and greet, what they're determining is from a growth by acquisition standpoint, how does the senior attorney's law practice, what are the benefits that that practice could present to the growing law firm from both a growth by acquisition standpoint, which we're showing here, what we call pure growth by acquisition, the practice areas of a senior attorney being added on to the growing law firm's practice, plus the cross-marketing opportunities that senior attorneys present. From the senior attorney standpoint in the meet and greet, they really want to know whether they could transfer their trust, right? That is, senior attorneys have developed many clients, hundreds of clients, often thousands of clients over the course of their careers. And they really want to know in that meet and greet, are these the types of lawyers that I could trust, that we could trust with our longstanding clients? In the second meeting, that is what we call the due diligence meeting. That is, the parties have expressed interest after meet and greet to learn more about each other. And during due diligence, the parties explore the value that each practice has. So when it comes to the value of law firms generally, we look at value as really 5 components to valuing a law firm, both a senior attorney's practice and a growing law firm's practice. So during the due diligence, what the growing law firm wants to find out is, what do those clients look like? What do the referral sources look like? How well known is the senior attorney's practice known in the community? What's their subject matter knowledge? And post 2020, now that we're in the 3.0 digital era for law firms, what's the digital value that a senior attorney's practice presents? From the senior attorney standpoint, they really want to know the same. They want to know, okay, has this growing law firm, how long have they practiced for? How deep is their proverbial bench when it comes to their clients, their referral sources, how well known they are, and what are they doing digitally, where the competition today for developing new clients, as we all know, is a digital landscape for developing clients, and what does the digital value of a growing law firm look like? That then leads to the third meeting. In the third meeting is really a matter of a sequence of meetings where the parties begin negotiating a letter of intent. That's really what we call the rolling up the sleeves meetings. And we'll just show a checklist of items that parties negotiate over when they're negotiating a letter of intent for a law firm sale. Terms include, of course, what does the purchase price look like? What happens to the client files? What happens to the accounts receivables? What would an announcement letter look like? How do we handle conflicts of interest? And just as a sidebar, the lease is always discussed. And we always recommend to people to look at the lease as a deal term, even though a senior attorney may still have 3 years left on their lease. If so many other things look right for a particular deal during the letter of intent stage, we always recommend to clients and to growing law firms to look at the lease as a negotiating term for the parties to consider how to deal with. Coming out of the letter of intent is the signing of that letter of intent. And here what we say is that when the parties will sign the letter of intent, they've gotten through meetings 1 through 3, and particular meetings 2 and 3, the due diligence and negotiating the letter of intent. Once they've signed green zone at that point, as the blue was explore the opportunity, the green is we have signed the letter of intent. The parties really want to do this. And what we have left to do is in that 5th meeting is to start negotiating the definitive agreement between the parties. And just to share some of the checklist items on negotiating a definitive agreement, we're really taking over the items that were in the letter of intent. We're establishing a closing date. We're setting up conditions for closing. Is there going to be a lease assignment? What are going to be the salary and compensation terms for key employees, lawyers at the senior attorney's firm that are joining the growing law firm? There are references that we need to make to particular rules of professional conduct, and there could be exhibits that we need to have as part of the overall deal. That then leads to the sixth and final meeting, which is signing the agreement. That is, we've gone through the letter of intent, had that signed, we negotiated the definitive agreement. Now we're at a closing and we sign the agreement. And when we look at what are the benefits once we have signed that agreement, the parties came together because of the synergy value that the growing law firm really sees with the senior attorneys, that the senior attorneys present the instant client growth to the growing law firms. They present often a combined workforce, cumulative expertise that the senior attorney and their lawyers and staff at their firms present, and that marketing value now that we're in the 3.0 digital era for law firms. And for the senior attorneys, what they benefit by signing on to that agreement is they're transferring the trust of their clients to the firms that they join. And we haven't yet talked about the price. Of course, as part of the definitive agreement, there's terms about how the senior attorney is going to be paid. And what we're seeing in the marketplace is we're in what we call law firm sales 1.0. In 1.0, the definitive agreement is typically stating that senior attorneys get paid upon earn-out terms. That is based upon the primary value components of their practices, the client list, and their referral source in particular. They're being paid a percentage of the collections that come in from a senior attorney's clients over a negotiated period of time, hence an earn-out price. What we're also seeing post-2020, now that we are in the digital era, there is more value being put on law practices today when it comes to their digital value and their brand awareness. Hence, we are also now starting in the law firm sales 2.0 era, which is seeing fixed prices for law firms plus an earn-out paid over time. And that brings us to today's buzzer beater. In today's buzzer beater, we're looking at the 6 meetings needed to sell a law practice. And those 6 meetings are the meet and greet, due diligence, negotiate the letter of intent, sign the letter of intent, negotiate the definitive agreement, and sign the agreement. For growing law firms, the major benefit that those 6 meetings present, why would they go through those 6 meetings? Why do they even want to purchase a senior attorney's practice? It's because they recognize the benefits of growth by acquisition. Growth by acquisition is here in the legal industry. What's underlying the growth by acquisition benefit is the synergy value that senior attorneys present to growing law firms. When it comes to the senior attorneys, major benefit for them is that they're able to actually sell their law practice. Many attorneys, they question us, what's the value of my law practice? Who actually wants to purchase my practice? Well, growing law firms, they want to purchase your practice, and they will pay you in law firm sales 1.0. They'll pay often an earn-out price that is earn-out payment terms based upon the collections that come in from billings to the senior attorney's clients paid out over time. And an additional major benefit to senior attorneys is they're able to transfer the trust of their clients to the lawyers at the growing law firms that they join. Really what that equals is a win-win-win. It's a win for the senior attorneys who are able to sell their law practices. It's a win for the growing law firms that are able to grow by acquisition. And it's a big win for those clients that want and need to have competent lawyers to continue representing them once their long-term senior attorney advisors and lawyers retire. And that is the state of the market for law firm sales, and a bit more, really a lot more today than 7 minutes.